Welcome to the 10th and the last session on our performance appraiser series. In this session, we are going to look at virtual performance appraiser. Now, with the rise of virtual work, we have companies who have virtual staffs who are working for you virtually. And the fact that they are working for you virtually does not mean that you should not appraise them. Because don't forget that the goal of performance appraiser is to improve, is to ensure that there is improvement. Now, I have some of my staff who are working for me virtually. Some I have never met and they are working for me virtually, but we have a system put in place to measure their performance. And I've seen how those staffs are continuously improving and doing better because of what we maintain a performance appraiser system just by themselves, even without us spotting it. So there are certain things that when we conduct performance appraisal, they purposely hide it because they don't want us to know, and then they go on to correct it. But once they correct it, we are able to identify that yes, this person have made progress in this area, even though it wasn't captured in our performance appraiser. This is how powerful performance appraiser is, even for virtual workers. So if you have virtual workers, if you have people working for you virtually, you need to introduce virtual performance. Now, how are you going to conduct this virtual performance appraisals? Number one tool you can use is e-forms. We have different e-forms. You have Jot forms, and then you have Google Forms. You can use Google Forms. I use Google Forms. So you can develop a Google Forms. Remember, we said that performance appraiser has two layers: the official appraiser and then the employee's self-appraiser. So you can use Google Forms for the employee's self-appraiser, where you get the employee to evaluate and appraise his performance himself. Then you can use report and other things that are submitted, projects that are submitted, to then carry out the official appraiser, and then the same thing. It's what basically the only difference is that there is no physical interaction, right? And some of the tools, like I've said, one of the tools you can use to achieve this is what? E-forms, like your Google Forms, your Jot forms, and others. And the next is virtual meetings. You can use your virtual tools like your Zoom, your Google Meets, and others to organize appraiser interviews. Remember, we spoke about appraiser interviews, and we talked to you about how you can organize your appraiser interviews. So you can also organize appraiser interviews with a staff of yours who is working virtually. The purpose of virtual performance appraiser, like your performance appraiser again, is to ensure that even though the person is working remotely, that you are able to sustain your conversations around performance. So the person knows that the fact that he's working remotely does not mean that he should not get better at what he's doing, or that the organization does not need the person to get better at what he does. You need to be able to maintain and keep that discussion around virtual performance ongoing. It also helps you to also sustain employee engagement. So you are able to get the employee engaged on performance conversations. Also able to identify the person's weaknesses, the person's performance gaps, and resources that you can provide to support the person to perform better. That translates directly into continuous feedback and development. What are some of the keys to an effective virtual performance appraiser? Remember that virtual performance appraiser is not like your normal performance appraiser. The person is not there physically. For example, we have people for us across different states who are working for us from different locations that we've never met before. What are some of the things you need to take note of when you are conducting a virtual performance appraiser, so that the performance appraiser is not taken for granted? Number one is choosing the right technology. Very, very important. You need to use the right forms. When you want to conduct your virtual performance interview, you also need to use the right technology that is flexible. that the person also can easily relate with. Then you also want to test your technology before the meeting. Text the form, text the link, text the meeting. If you are not familiar with the application yourself, you need to make sure you get yourself also familiar with it before you conduct it. There is also the need for you to create a professional environment. The same way, if you are holding a physical performance appraiser interview, you don't want to create an environment for distraction. The same way, you don't want to be holding, a virtual performance interview or appraiser interview, and then people are walking in and walking out, and there is noise everywhere. You want to keep it also very, very professional. Then it is important to also keep the sessions focused. Very, very important. Don't go into discussing topics that are not directly related to the subjects of the performance appraiser. So you want to make sure that you keep the sessions focused on the appraiser. Then, of course, discussions around demonstrating empathy in your conversation still plays a very important role here. Then maintaining accountability is also very, very important here. Ensure that the employee takes responsibility where he's supposed to take responsibility, and where you're supposed to take responsibility as an organization, you should also take responsibility. Follow-ups is also very, very important. First of all, is to make sure the proper agreements are reached from that meeting, just the same way the physical interaction should be, and then make sure there is also follow-ups. Everything that has to do with a physical office area where you carry out several activities around your performance appraisals and your PIP, your performance improvement plan. You also want to do the same thing virtually. Remember that performance appraisal is not a ritual. It is a tool that is designed to help you ensure that every person working for you, working in your organization, are doing their best, are putting in their best, and that they are at their best selves at all time. Thank you very much for watching. This brings us to the end of our performance appraiser series. So drop your thoughts in the comment section. How do you feel about the series? And what series do you think we should do next? And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel.